Okay, I hope this is working. Norton just flashed one of its ads. Then Windows 10 flashed the thing that I want to personalize my computer. See, when you plug in the camera, it must activate certain things that are running in the background. And they say, he's in front of his computer. Let's ask him stuff. But anyway, as you can see, we now have 4 shock absorbers from a different chassis on here. A little bit of filing, not the chassis, these units themselves. They have little tiny spurs on the sides, on the back, that when they press fitted them in a different model or different brand, that's how they did it. But I filed it away. It all fit on this one. This has a ring on the back, and you have to slowly pry over the ring. It's an aluminum ring, just like this ring on the top. And you pry it over, and then this will come off. Now, the rubber was rotted out, if you remember, and it was petrified. And I had to dig that all out. And I used a grommet that I cut lengthwise, not lengthwise, like sausage, cutting it like sausage. And then I took out the hub. There's like on a grommet, there's a hub that hooks the 2 sides together that causes a seam that goes in the chassis. We've got to cut that away. Then you stack those 2 pieces in here, and it's just the right height. Now, I have no use for an AM command radio, AM broadcast band radio, only to match what I already have. And in the case of this not having the ability for me to do this, now let's hope it goes on for the camera. Line it up, jiggle it around, set it down. All right, that's how my command radios work. Power supply is movable. I have 3 power supplies, and that's to me a command radio. All right, the radio, when it's finished, remains original. And instead of putting a dynamotor on the back and running it with a 24-volt supply that's external, this does everything. Okay, now so far no one's copied this idea yet. I found a couple of my videos that got copied. People just watched my videos and then became a parrot and repeated it back, and I hate that. You have no idea how I hate that. But I worked in a place where I told you I worked with a guy, and he'd ask me for a schematic for something I built, and then I'd give it to him, and he'd redraw it in his own handwriting and then pass it out. I've been around some really crazy people. Now, I also want to say I am also crazy. Okay, I have countless hours in this thing already, taking the other 2 units apart, salvaging the pieces, getting ready to put this together. Now, at this point, I wire up the filaments back to 24 volts. The front end tuning cap, okay, that's sitting up there, ready to go. This is the last video for this, the command radio, this series, because basically now it's at the point where I would have got a good one off eBay, and I would just oil it or whatever and turn it on. Unfortunately, that's not what you're going to get when you go cheap on eBay. If you go cheap, you're going to have to do work, and you're going to have to improvise, like these shock absorbers. Okay, they're for the dynamotor. The dynamotor is a ring in here. When you put the dynamotor on, you click these things in, and they lock on this. So even if you turned it upside down, it'll hold the dynamotor. I wasn't shooting for all that. Okay, and on the back side of this post, I showed you there's a little rollover, and I ground that away with a Dremel tool, and I set up my I cut up the grommets and I put them on, and then I actually soldered this is all brass. I left it with its original patina. I didn't go buffing it up. And then you can solder the little washer back on underneath, and you're done. Okay, and that's how I did it. And as I'm doing it, I told you, anytime you're in the middle of a project, you start realizing that maybe it's not over your head. It's just a lot of work, and the results is going to be so minuscule. And that's what this is. This is just a matching radio to go with my set of radios. It's really, and nobody really cares. I look at people that watch my videos. Let's just say
what is it, maybe 20 people. There's another screw. I picked all these screws up. And that's what I got, a lot of screws. You know, somewhere someone's like, I'm missing a bunch of screws for mine. That's how the world works. There's people sitting with brand new command radios still in the box, but unfortunately they're in a puddle of water or in a damp place. And then when they finally get around to it, they'll donate it to some museum, and then the museum at some point will say, this is really bad, let's sell it. And that's what I bought. I bought stuff that should have been put in a dumpster, okay, for 60 bucks and 20 for shipping. And they really didn't pack it that well. Okay, things got dented, things got bent, making the whole project a little bit more difficult. But this is a busy project. The weather finally switched here, and it went cold and windy, and the leaves are finally coming down. And I have to have something to work on every day. And I do look at other videos, and it's pretty funny. At one time, Shango, 66, he actually put his name in that on the video on a piece of paper underneath, because there were people taking his videos and redubbing over them and taking credit. And I have a couple videos that are up there. They're not mine, actually. The person just looked at mine, put a real fancy intro, and then read the article I told them that went with the project that I showed. And then they basically read the project to you. Unbelievable. But that's how some people roll. I'm doing stuff that I know most people won't touch. Okay? You know, who would rebuild shock absorbers? You know what I mean? You know, you just get another chassis, I don't know where, and you screw them on. Like I could have stolen from this guy over here. Can we see that? Is that in the frame? No. Where is it? Oh, here it is here. Oh, here's the shock absorbers here. Okay. And they're okay, but these, for some reason, the ones that are in here, the rubber petrified. You know what it almost looked like? A Super Ball. If you ever took a Super Ball and cut it open years ago, it's almost like it's a hard rubber, and it's like got holes in it, and the outside of the Super Ball was real smooth, but in the core of it, it was like it had air mixed in with it, and that was a great toy. Okay, if you take a real Super Ball, and I lived on the end of a dead-end street, and we just drop it out in front of us, and it would bounce all the way down the street. Now, it would get closer to the ground, and by the end of the street, I wasn't throwing it, I was just dropping it in a direction towards the end of the street. By the time it got to the end of the street, it got closer to the ground, and I think it was doing about 50 miles an hour. And I thought that was so amazing how the kinetic energy of it, the bounce, changed into speed as it got closer to the ground. So at the other end of the street, the kids would stand there and try to catch it. And no one was able to catch it. And I'd only do it at the end of the street going across the road. It's a T. There would be a garage there. It has windows. And I knew to make sure the garage door was open before I would do it. Well, one of the kids wanted to show one of the other kids my idea. And he did it and went across the street and went through the guy's window in his garage. And he was there, so he had to pay for the window. Pretty funny stuff. But I said to him, when I did, I said, don't do this unless that garage door is open, because that's where that ball is going to go in that garage. Okay, and it actually could go in the garage and go out the back window, but it didn't for me. I did it a couple times, and I did it with smaller pieces. We used to take a Super Ball when it broke. It used to break because it's very hard rubber, and we would grind it on the street until we had a little one that was round, and then we bounce it with up against this house on the corner had a wall, and we used to bounce the little Super Ball off that wall. And the wall had holes in it from cinder blocks, the way it was built. And sometimes the ball would go in that cinder block. You never get it back. But it was fun stuff, and it didn't make any real noise, like the Clark kids. Well, I'll name them. They were Clark kids, John and Tom Clark. They'd actually walk across the street from their house and pitch a hard ball up against a woman's house. And she was crazy, so they got away with it. And it just, some of the stuff I grew up around, and the insanity, the morons,
And in later life, they became morons. Okay, when they did grow up, they didn't do any better than when they were younger. And it's amazing stuff. But I just wanted to show you, you know, I'm at the point now where I can slow down a little bit, and because I got to rewire the filaments, I got to put the tuning cap back in. Uh, they rewired the oscillator tube for the BFO as an audio output. So these two sockets are wired differently than they should be. But it's to keep me busy because I sit and I look around on the computer. I got to cook. I got to come up with 3 meals. I go for a walk. I stop at the dollar store. I'm retired, so I have different projects I work on just to stay busy. And I think I learned my lesson on buying cheap junk off eBay after this because these 3 radios should have been in the garbage. They shouldn't have went for $60. You know, but you know they're looking for basically donations for their museum. You know, I can't make fun of them because, you know, it's a club. That's what that is. It's a club. A bunch of people get together and they can write stuff off. And I belonged to a fake boys club when I was younger. Basically, two men ran it, and they basically liked wrestling with young boys. That's what it was really all about. There were American Flyer trains that were supposed to be set up in the school. And people were donating the trains. They never got set up. It was all, those guys just wanted to wrestle with young boys. And I won't go into it in greater detail, but my father told me right up front, he goes, they can't set up trains in the school. It's public property, you know. And then they kept telling, they had, at one point, when I questioned that, they went and got the janitor, because when we were open on Friday night in the school, the janitor had to stay in there until we were done, and then he would clean up and close up. And they went and got him, and you could tell he was asleep. And he's standing there, and he's yesing them, or he's just nodding, that we're going to set up, he has quarters somewhere, and we're going to set the trains up. Never set the trains up. It was all about those 2 men being around younger boys, okay? And we all know about that stuff now, but that's the boys club I belong to. It wasn't a real boys club. It was basically after the religious group that had their little, what was it called, Bible club. I would go to Bible club, and then after Bible club we had this fake boys club. And you look back on some of this stuff, it's pretty funny stuff. But, you know, after seeing the copycats, you know, and the other one that burns me on YouTube is that kid that paints the fake dirt on like a CD player, or he goes walking in the woods and he finds this unit and it's fake and he brings it back. He gets millions of views because there's so many morons out there, and they in the comment section, oh, you're really something. I wish I had your skills. Oh my God. You know, and that's, Shango went after him one time. He did a mock video where he had a radio or something. He put the fake dirt on it, and he brings it back, and he brings it back in a wheelbarrow. It's funny stuff. And I got the joke like right away when I started watching, because I saw the guy's views. And there's cheating ways to get views. I get like what, 4 views per video. It's funny stuff. But I had some videos that really pulled some big ones when I did the helicopter videos, telling people how to set it up. You know, and it's not in the instructions. And then of course I got attacked by people. Oh, everybody knows how to do that. But apparently there weren't people that bought the helicopter, didn't know what to do with it because they never had one before, and the instructions were real bad. So I did a video, and people were thanking me for it. Meanwhile, you got the, oh, that's so simple. If they don't know that, and I delete those. Just delete those. Leave the happy ones up there. The people were happy. Thank you. And then the one girl had a throttle problem. It turned out to be the trim, one of the trims, and I actually simulated it and then fixed the trim. That's those 700 videos are gone. All I did was attract the people that are jealous, and I'd rather do a video on something so obscure nobody really gives a rat's ass. See, when you go in mainstream and do something that no one else thought to do, they get jealous right away. People get jealous of you, and they find your email, and they hit you with email comments, so it doesn't show up. So you're getting hit, and you're like, who is this guy? I'm like, you know what? I didn't need that anymore. So I deleted 700 videos.
And I had like 700 videos, 700 some videos, and as many subscribers. But most of the subscribers are people just looking for ideas for their video. Okay, that's all. That's all it is. It's a bunch of parrots on YouTube. You go look at SpaceX. A guy will do a really good video, or a newscast will do a video, and then they cut up the video and put their voice over it. And one time I was watching a YouTube video, and down in the comments section said the kid wiped off the other narration, but not enough that it went away. And then and they were mocking him in the comments section that he had stole someone's video and then put his own voice over it in a little 15-year-old's voice. I was like, oh man. But yeah, we're at the point now where I can kick back a little bit, and this is all it's about, is to be able to put that on there. I really should have my glasses on. Yeah, there you go. Okay, and I'm waiting for someone else to go to the extra mile. I showed how to do it, how to put the two transformers on, and you use two transformers so it'll fit. One of those big transformers, and I got some of them now, man. I have them, and here's one of the transformers the experts were using. Here it is. Look at this. And this doesn't even have 24 volts. You got to rewire the radio for 12 volts so you can use this transformer. And I have another transformer I got in the deal. And these wires are stiff. These aren't as bad as, see how stiff these wires get? And these are asbestos wires. But the rubber, it's asbestos over rubber. The rubber gets rock hard after a while. But these transformers are $49 now. And I did it with two surplus transformers. I explain that. The video's there if you go back and look for it. And nice on-off switch on back here. Nice restrain. You know, I did a nice job on it. This is one of my better ideas. And it's a copy of a thing that you could have bought, but it was done wrong. They used the live 110. They only used the transformer to light the filaments. And I don't know. I don't know if it was 24 volts. And there was a choke in there too, to get the ripple out of the AC. And the reason is there was only half wave rectification. And this is full wave bridge in this one, which makes it, there is some hum, but you know, it's a command radio. It's from World War II. That's the whole idea. You know, you can actually use the thing to transmit, actually receive, and then there are the transmitters. So I think that's it. All right, that's it.